Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, November the 21st, 2022. Monday, November 21st. Not a lot happened today, but some interesting vibes and dynamics are beginning to kind of form on today's episode. We had Lily and Billy go to Crimson and they're talking to Sharon. And Billy is like, how's Chelsea? How's it going? Is she okay? And he goes, oh, it's okay. Lily knows. Matter of fact, Chelsea insisted that I tell her, right? So Sharon's like, oh, okay, well, they've been up there for quite a while. And he goes, what do you mean? Oh, well, Adam brought Connor over and they're up, and they're talking to him, letting him know. So Billy has the nerve and his hands crossed, his whole posture. You can read his posture. Folds his hand across, his hands, arms together, and he says, well, that's a sensitive and delicate matter. I hope Adam doesn't mess it up. And Lily kind of looks at him like, wait, what? And Sharon looks at him, but then Adam comes in, off of the patio area into the main dining area. And Billy, with his hands crossed, walks over to Adam. So how's Chelsea? How did it go? How's it going? And he goes, everything's fine. It was a little tensed, a little touch and go there for Connor for a moment, but we reassured him, you know, on the whole situation, and he accepts it. He's okay. And he goes, as a matter of fact, he wants to spend the night with his mother tonight, so they are together. And so Billy says, well, I probably should go check on her. He goes, no, 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 whoa. He's like, Adam's like, no, Billy, Chelsea is with her son, our son. They need to bond and they need to spend time together. You stay out of it. And Adam then walks past Billy and walks away. So Billy comes back over and says, well, no. So Lily, I think, says, oh, so that's good that everything went well and Connor's accepting it. And so, or Sharon, Lily or Sharon said that. Could have been Sharon. And Billy goes, yeah, but as if I would believe anything Adam said. And Lily's like, well, why wouldn't you? Why? He would tell the truth about his son. Billy has, Adam has no reason to lie to us about that, you know? And so he says, well, I'm going to have to check it out myself. And so Sharon looks at him. She goes, Billy, I agree with Adam that Chelsea is with her son. They are bonding. They are connecting over this, that they don't need any outside anything. I agree with Adam. Take your cues from Chelsea. If Chelsea needs you, Billy, Chelsea will reach out to you. And then Lily just looks at him like, yeah, it wasn't good enough that I said it, but now she says it. Uh-huh. Right? So Billy goes, well, okay, because remember, they're holding Sharon as this adamant professional psychiatrist or psychologist now, which she is, you know. So Billy had to reluctantly agree to take that, right? So Billy and Lily go to society. They head to society. Now, meanwhile, we have Elena shows up at Nate's office, and Nate is really feeling his own there. He's happy. He's doing what he's supposed to do and making phone calls to his direct reports. He is even encouraging. And so Elena goes, you know what? I am happy to see you. You look like you belong behind that desk, And she goes, I'm happy that you're here. She goes, I may not have agreed how you got here, but I'm happy that you're here. It's showing, good. It was the right move. She even brought him a gift for the office. It was a great picture of him and her that they had at the apartment. And he goes, this is just what I need here. And oh, so she goes, can you get away for dinner? I'm famished. And he goes, I've got one meeting left with Victoria. She goes, so late? He goes, it shouldn't take long because this is my first day. I don't have that much to report to her, right? So he goes, head over to society, get us a table, order a bottle of their best wine, and I'll meet you there. So she's like, okay. So they kiss and she goes off to society. Well, Devon is sitting at the bar drinking beer. He's not drowning himself in alcohol. He's just drinking a glass of beer, but he's depressed. You could tell, right? So Elena walks in and gets that table off to the side. But the killing thing to me is she left her purse over there. Turned her in her back is to her purse, right? With wallet, keys, everything in it. And she's at the bar talking to Devon. And I'm like, wow, how trusting is she? Okay. So she goes, something is up. What is happening? And he's like, she goes, is Amanda coming? Is she going to be? He goes, no, 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 no. Amanda's not coming. As a matter of fact, she's going to be going back to Virginia. And Elena says, oh no. Because I know, the distance is probably a strain on your relationship. I know you hate to see her go. And he goes, yeah, I do. But her family needs her. And I thought, uh-huh, you snake. You sure aren't going to tell Elena what you did, right? Because then that would mean you'd have to truly understand what she and Nate did to you. Okay. So we're not going to tell that. Even though he has forgiven Elena, they have a great relationship, he still isn't going to tell her that, right? So she goes, well, look, if you ever need to talk, I'm here. As a matter of fact, I'm meeting Nate. Would you like to join us, for a drink? And he goes, he says something to the effect of, look, I'd rather have hot needles poked in my eyes before I ever do that. I couldn't think of what he really said, but it was to that effect, right? And she goes, well, I'm sorry to hear that because, I would think I'm trying to patch things up between. He goes, no, no, it can't be patched up with that guy. No. And as a matter of fact, I'm surprised you're still with him. I know you were leaving him. You decided to take him back. And I'm like, shut up, Devon. See, in this instance, no, I don't like what Nate did either, but I don't like what you did, Devon. And you still have the nerve to pass judgment on others, on Elena for taking Devon back. How stupid would Amanda be for taking you back? You did this to her twice now. Okay. Yeah, Devon. So Lily and Billy arrive, and Elena's like, hey, you two. And Lily's like, hi, Elena. Goodness, we really have to catch up. She goes, yeah. She goes, I'm meeting Nate here. Would you two like to join us? And Lily looks at Elena's like, nah, that'll be a hard pass. No. So she goes, okay. She goes, but I still want to catch up with you later. You know, letting Elena know, look, what they did, I'm not holding this against you because Lily and Elena are cool. So she goes, we're just going to get our own table. So Lily and Billy go sit down. Devon says, and on that note, you know what? I'm going to take my leave, right? So Devon leaves and Lily and Billy are talking and Billy is like, what's the matter, Lily? It seems like you're upset. And she goes, well, I kind of am. That bottom line, you couldn't trust me enough. We live together. There's supposed to be no secrets between us. And you didn't trust me enough to tell me the gravity of what was happening to Chelsea. And he goes, well, that wasn't my story to tell. She goes, I understand that, Billy. but I never would have told the soul, and you know that. And since you are in a relationship with me, and what, your support of Chelsea is taking a lot of your time, then me as your partner, you should have told me. So this way I would be okay, like I'm okay now. So yes, it does. It bothers me, because had Chelsea like not said tell Lily, you still wouldn't have told me, you know? So he's like, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, this has nothing to do with our relationship. And Lily's looking like, it doesn't, but it does. Yes, it does. Because now I have to be, and this is what Lily's probably thinking, or this is what I'm thinking. So Lily's not thinking it, I'm thinking it, right? I have to be okay now for an undetermined amount of my time and our time together for you to be at Chelsea's beck and call whenever. And I have to be okay with that. Because like Billy said, I made a promise and I'm not going to renege on that promise. So I just have to be okay with it. And she's just looking at him. And sure enough, lo and behold, he got a text. Chelsea said Connor is asleep now. Can you meet me at Crimson Lights for some coffee? And he goes, Chelsea wants, he read it too, like read it while he's reading it. And Lily looks at him. And he goes, but I'm not going to go because I feel it's important that we keep this conversation going. And Lily's like, no, go, Billy, go. Because she has reached out to you. It's fine. Just go. So Billy gets right on up and goes, of course. He wasn't too wanting to finish that conversation. Gets right on up and he goes. Okay. And so Elena walks over to Lily and she's talking to Lily, and she goes, you know what? It looks like Nate's not going to make it, because guess what? In Victoria's office, Nate and Victoria are talking, and boy, is she just patting him on the back like I've never seen Victoria pat anybody or give accolades to anyone ever before like this, right? And so what Nate told her is he says, Victoria, I really have to ask. I've been talking to the different department heads, because he's given her a rundown of the projects, where some of the projects are. He goes, I can't tell you everything because this is my first day, but this, that, and the other. And he gave her some key points that are being hit. She goes, see, this is why I have you for the job. And he goes, but I have to say, Sally started all of this. Every department head that I called and everything that I thought I might need when I would call, they had it for me because Sally had already put them in that path. He goes, I'm just pretty much carrying on what she started. I'm saying, I still don't know why you fired her for me, because she was doing a very exceptionally good job. And the one thing Victoria said, that's the only time I could agree with anything she said. She says, Nate, I have to feel comfortable with all of my direct heads. I didn't feel comfortable with Sally. I just didn't, And he goes, why? Were you trying to get back at your brother? She says, no, has nothing to do with that. He says, but Sally was put in that position because she was Adam's girlfriend, and I did not 100% trust her, but I 100% trust you because of your history with me and my family. And he goes, okay, all right, I see it. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I see that, because I couldn't 100% trust Sally Spector either. Because Nick was really covering, especially once he got involved with her, Nick was covering a whole lot of Sally not having her head in the game, Nick and Chloe. Chloe was constantly trying to get Sally to get her head in the game, you know? So needless to say, they're drinking, their hard alcohol as they're talking. And Elena even texts him, say, hey, the wine is here. Are you on your way? And he goes, oh, that's Elena. We're supposed to be having dinner. And Victoria says, oh, yeah, well, we're almost done, and kept right on talking and kept him right there, telling him about her days working her way up from the mail room. She knows this company in and out. She had no intentions on letting Nate get to his dinner with Elena at all. Victoria could care less if he's in the relationship with Elena, because she's probably going to feel like that's going to divert some of his tension away from her. Seriously. Victoria, I think, is going to be a wedge between Elena and Nate, and they're slowly starting to show that. So then we have Sally and Nick go out on a date at Noah's club. Goodness, before this club hit, what did they ever do in Genoa City? Where did they go? So they're at the club. Adam is there just staring at him with daggers, and they're doing their thing. Noah wasn't there because Sharon had called Noah over to Crimson Lights to talk to him. And it was a real good conversation, because she said, I'm dealing with a client or a patient who had major mental health issues, and, she has a child involved, or there's children involved. And I just wanted to say, Noah, with you having to really deal with my bipolar disorder, how did that affect you? How did it make you feel? And they talked about it. And I thought, you know what? I had forgotten Sharon is on medication, because she did go through some definite episodes, right? Especially every time she gets off her medication. And so, they talked about it honestly. And then Noah told her about Audra, and how he feels bad the way that he left her. He goes, just the way I walked out on her, I could have definitely done that better. And Sharon was saying, yeah, but Noah, you said it was a very toxic relationship. And he goes, and it was. And she goes, so honey, bottom line, because he's thinking, I kind of feel guilty about, her losing the baby. Could it have been? She goes, no, don't even say, could it have been your fault? Because it wasn't. That's miscarriages happen, and I don't want you to take that burden on you because you had nothing to do with it. And he says, and how long do you think you could have stayed in that toxic relationship, even with a child? He goes, Noah, even your father and I, we have gotten together a number of times, and it was still never strong enough. Just because we had children wasn't strong enough for us to overcome our differences. So you still probably would not be with her if you say that's how your relationship was. And that's so true. And he goes, I was just thinking the baby would only be a few months old now. And I thought, bingo, Mariah and Tessa's baby. I honestly believe Audra did not have a miscarriage. She just told him that. If in fact she was pregnant, she probably had that baby. And just out of spite, because he did move away from London and came back to Genoa City, she just had the baby. And that baby's either with her mama, her sister, her family, or something. But I do believe it's going to be Noah's baby. And Noah's baby is going to be the baby that Mariah and Cassie end up adopting. That's just my prediction, right? So then we have Lily sitting at the table. Elena just said, I'm going to go ahead and leave. Looks like Nate's not going to make it. I'll see you later, Lily. We do have to catch up. Elena heads for the door, and a man walks past Elena. And Elena stopped and turned and looked at him as he walked past. And I'm thinking, Elena knows Daniel? Because of the way she looked at him, it was with some sort of recognition, or I don't know how much she may know him, because when he walked by her, he didn't stop and say, "Hey, Elena." But the way she looked at him, like, "I've seen you before." That's the way she looked at him, right? And Lily is sitting down and she kind of glances towards the bar. And Lily says, "Daniel?" And now the camera pans up to Daniel, and Lily is standing up from the table, and the look on her face in this, the joy, the happiness in seeing Daniel. And I thought, "Ooh, Daniel Lily 2.0, because Lily is getting, you know, unhappy in her relationship with Billy. Let's see, because you know how soaps are. They love putting exes back together again. And so Daniel looked over at her like, "Lily, it's going to be good today to see their interaction. I want to know, what are they going to say about his daughter, Lucy?" Because Lucy is actually a year older. Let's see if they keep the timeline. Lucy is a year older than Katie. Lucy was I think her name was Maggie. What did Maggie do? Raped Daniel, got him drunk and raped her and got pregnant, and not raped her, raped him and got pregnant by him and didn't tell him because he never knew Lucy existed. And she was getting ready to sell the baby. Billy bought the baby to give to Victoria, not knowing that it was Daniel. So there was a whole storyline with getting that whole situation sorted out. Phyllis was very instrumental. Phyllis was like, "No, no, no. That's my grandchild, and we're giving it to my son." She didn't care that Victoria and Billy were in love with Lucy, and Lucy was happy. Phyllis is like, "Oh no," you know. And so we shall see. And I did a little history. Daniel and Lily were married in 2005. He was on a podcast, actually, the actor playing Daniel, and he was speaking about returning. They were married for 2 years, so it wasn't annulled. They were married for well, you know how soap operas are. They'll say, and we had it annulled. You've been married for 2 years. How you get that annulled? Anyway, and Daniel they decided to tell a storyline on porn addiction. So he was getting addicted to porn and consumed with it. And ultimately that was the reason for the breakup of their marriage. And the actor says he remembered when they brought him into the office and said, "Hey, we're going to tell we're going to have a powerful story that Daniel is involved with." And they told him, "We're going to make him have a porn addiction." And the actor, I forget his name, he says, "I looked and said, well, I guess I got to do a lot of research then." I was making a joke. Oh my goodness. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they have Daniel involved with. But yes, Danny Romalotti is coming to Genoa City as well. He's just coming though for a stop in. Daniel is going to stay. Daniel's going to be back home for probably a year or so, or however long they choose to write his character back for. But Daniel is coming back to Genoa City, whereas his father, Danny, is just going to be for a quick stop. So Phyllis is going to have her favorite folks around. I mean, Danny and Phyllis have, settled their differences years ago. They're not best friends, but they're not enemies at all. They're really cordial towards each other. But anyway, yeah, that's some history, and I'm looking forward to that storyline on The Young and the Restless. So let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. Kiki says, "I hate Nick and Sally together." Adam to be with Sally. Yeah, I like that too. Dito says, "Danny will be on the show in December." Danny Romalotti. On the podcast Dishing the Dish, the actor that plays Daniel was interviewing and speaking. Yes. It was really good. I heard that same thing. Let's see. She's saying, do we think maybe Daniel will get involved with Sally? No, I don't think so. I think this might be the Daniel and Lily storyline. They'll end up getting really, really close. And then she says, also Jack used to be a favorite character, but more recently they're not like in his, she didn't like him in his younger years. Yeah, Jack was in a bunch of stuff in this. He wasn't a good guy when he was younger. But she's saying, but right now they're making him too passive and too stupid. And Diane is getting on her last nerve. She should have told Jack a long time ago about the financials. I know, because she never got him for him. That Jack knows that, but this is what Tucker wanted. But remember, she didn't even know about Tucker at all. So till it came out that they were together in LA. I mean, so many little things, shoes are dropping with her and Tucker. So, we shall see. And then she said the way that Jack was talking to Ashley, she goes, Ashley is not 12. I know. It's like, who are you talking to, Jackie? Please, I'll do what I want to do. And then LaShunta says, Diane swears they are the dream team. Yes, we've got Diane, Jack, and Kyle with them in her life. And then we got little Harrison with his Robin cape on, right? With them in her life, she don't care about nobody else. Says Jack and Kyle are going to get their just desserts. Ashley's going to ask Tucker, yeah, what is this about you trying to get the financials? And Jack will always wait for the other shoe to drop. He will never trust Diane. No, he doesn't, but he just wants to believe Diane, right? But look at how he treats Phyllis horribly. Sally is thirsty and Jess with boring Nick to hurt people. What do you mean, Adam, to get back at Adam? And Adam is chasing her right now. She likes that. Adam should stop. Really, he really should. Monique says, Danny biofather. Oh, Daniel's biofather name was Brian. Phyllis was obsessed with Danny. She was already pregnant when she met him. She drugged him and had sex with a boy. I tell you, we got father and son, the same things happened to them, right? Except for Phyllis was already pregnant. So, look, our one night stand, this is what you did. Same thing they had Chloe do to Kane, Lily's husband, was, she got him all drunk and said they had sex. She was already pregnant. He didn't even sleep with her. In the car, it was in a car. Come on, Chloe. Let's see. Nick, I don't like Nick and Sally. This is Carrie Jott. And she goes, just my opinion. I think Sally is trying to reinvent herself. Sally is always going to try and reinvent herself. And then he says, Nick and Sharon were boring to her. He had the true chemistry with Phyllis. Yeah, Nick and Phyllis had that hot chemistry together. But the problem is the only thing aside from video games, they really had nothing else really in common. And Carrie Jott says, yeah, what about Tucker cheating on Abby's mom? Yeah, I know. Here Abby is, don't want Tucker talking to Ashley nowhere near her because he cheated. And look at what she did. Look at here. What you did, Abby. It's unforgivable, right? LOL. They will end up in bed again. Yes, they will. Because they're too busy trying to say, look, it just happened. How did it just happen? I don't know. So guess what? It's going to be like Nick and Sally. Hey, I just came in to say goodnight and have a drink, and look at what happened. How did this happen? How did we end up in bed again? Wow. So yeah, Abby and Devon again. And then Medora says, I miss the fiery Sally. Please, Victoria, firing her, be Sally going back at her. Oh, you mean Sally trying to get back at her? She thinks Adam wronged her. Wait until Nick cheats on her like he's done in most of his relationships. Nick is cool with Sharon until he dates someone. And then Nick doesn't, until she dates someone he doesn't approve of. Yeah, that he's very judgmental of her. Except how judgmental can Nick be now? Because their Faith is in college now. So, now your kids are grown. Stay out of my life, really. But you know how they are in soaps. So anyway, that is Comment Corner. Comment Corner, thank you so much for commenting. on the daily recap. I will be back tomorrow. I don't think much is going to happen this week at all, but I will be here to talk about it, whether it's making fun of it or really liking it. I just talk bad about it. Anyway, everybody, I will be back tomorrow.